Hey, what is going on? I'm going to be going over in this tutorial some of the basics of using the cPanel, which is basically a domain management tool. You can use it to manage your domains. Here you can see that I use HostGator for my hosting. This is just a shared hosting account. I'll go over what that means in a future tutorial. But this is a shared hosting account through HostGator. Paying less than $15 a month, less than that, for my hosting, and I can host unlimited sites, unlimited emails, unlimited bandwidth, all that good stuff through them. I definitely condone using HostGator. They have tremendous customer support, and they use cPanel by default, so they don't have like some funky back office thing that you got to get used to. I definitely condone using them. And in this tutorial, we're going to go over the basics of cPanel. In case you were wondering where you can get some HostGator for yourself, you can come to our website, which is freewebdesigntutorials.info, and you'll see right down here at the banner, right down here at the bottom, there's a little banner here that will give you the first month for a penny. So that'll give you a month at a penny just to try the services, and after that, it's like $5 or $7 if you want to get an upgraded one. So I definitely condone going to our website and using that link for a penny so you can get started. I definitely condone that. Back to the cPanel. Now, the first thing you notice when you come to the cPanel is you see a little button here which is home. That's your safety in case you get lost anywhere in the cPanel. I'm pretty sure this is everywhere, but we'll see as we're clicking through stuff, and I'm just showing you what HostGator is offering you. Now, if you have another web hosting company, you might not have all of these guys here in the middle. Some of these are stuff that they add, like you see HostGator link specifically. Alright, now you can also use the find tool. If there's anything that you know you're looking for, you can use the find function, and that'll help. HostGator allows you to register your domains with them, so you can not only host, but you can also register a domain with them. You can also transfer a domain, which means you're transferring a domain maybe that you bought somewhere else, like GoDaddy, which is a great place to buy domains from, or there's quite a few places you can buy domains from. So you buy them somewhere else, you can transfer them for use with your HostGator account, and I'll explain some of the differences in that in a future tutorial. You also have the look up a domain button, which is under who is, and this is very useful if you are doing research on a particular website. You want to know who owns it, etc., etc. You can go right in here, and let's just put in one that I used to use a while ago. Hold on. Okay, running a who is, and here's what that looks like. It's just going to give you the basic information about that particular company, who runs it, all that good stuff. Also, too, something that you're going to want to know is that yours might look slightly different than mine, because you can change and drag and drop these individual sections here to fit your own personal needs. Well, very important to note that. Here's your little announcements. From time to time, they run specials. HostGator, when you register to get hosting through them, they give you a free $100 AdWord credit, which comes in handy. And when we do our SEM tutorial on search engine marketing, we're going to go over how to pick AdWords, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Down here we also see a little mobile thing. They're advertising website builder. This is very cool. We'll probably do a tutorial just on this. If you want to get your site up very quickly, you can use this. Here they have other web building tools over here. Parallel site builder, another site builder, trendy site builder. That was really cool. Let me show you that real quick. This actually creates a flag. Okay, they do it through quick install. That's another tutorial by itself. But it's actually a Flash type website that you can create, and it makes really nice looking web pages very quickly. But you will have to pay, I believe, for an upgraded version of that. But we'll check that out when I do the tutorial on that. Yes, they do also offer VoIP, $99 per year through HostGator. They got that. And you can also get a 1-800 number. If you get the top package, $14.95, I think it is, they give you a 1-800 number with that, but you just have to pay for minutes. Just keep in mind, they have a little referral program there. Website traffic. Now, here's something that you're definitely going to want to look at pretty often. You want to know how many, like this says view all traffic. That'll take you to, let's see where. Okay, right here. Now, this here is just a short look at all the different domains that I have. And we'll just click on the one for our web project I'm working on now. Where is it? Tutorials? Yeah, okay. We'll click on that, and that'll take me to this page, which tells me everything. How many hits I've had in the last, it looks like the whole month, I guess. The period reporting is the month of September 2012. And how many unique visitors, how many hits, which is different than unique visitors. We'll go over that stuff with in a future tutorial.
She did it. She
Oh, sorry about that. So all the different pages that were hit, and this is all data on your sites. I'm going to teach you how to analyze this data and make the best use of it. Make the best use of it. Statistics are great, and it shows you everything that you're going to want to know about your site, or most of it. So here's one thing that the cPanel is offering you. Whoops, did I? Oh no, here it is. Okay, so let's go back to our home. Remember, our home thing is right there. You can also log out over here. If you need help, you can click here. Now, my top level, now I think we went all the way. Did we go to the bottom? No, we did not. Sorry about that. Next is backup status. All right, you're going to want to run backups on your site every so often. Now, a backup is basically when they're going to send you, they're going to email you a backup of your web page and all of your websites that maybe that you're hosting to an email address if that's what you want, or they can store it on the server. I prefer to have mine sent to me so that I can have it. In the event that, say, I want to take my hosting elsewhere, it's just as simple as unzipping a package and I'm good to go with my latest updated version of my website. So you're definitely going to want to set up, as you can see here, I have mine being sent to my email, and they always notify me. That's another setting that they did it. And if backups ran now, this is how much space I would be taking up. Good to go. Now this tells you, now next under that is the statistics box, and this tells you what you have left in your hosting package. That's basically what it's looking at. Now this is showing that the main domain, I guess here, is Lawn Care CEO, and we have some add-on domains, and as you can see here, HostGator is allowing me to have unlimited hosting accounts. If you paid for unlimited and it says one of one, then you need to call up your hosting company. Okay. Now subdomains, which we'll get into what those are, also unlimited. Also unlimited. Park domains. Now a parked domain is oh, sorry about that. A park domain is different than a subdomain or an add-on domain. An add-on domain would be, say, let's say that you have a web project and we're going to call it frenchfries.com. So you bought frenchfries.com either from HostGator or from GoDaddy. Now what you need to do is you have to enable that particular domain to be viewed in your on through this hosting company. Now what a hosting company actually does is they have software and servers. They have server software set up so that you can upload your HTML documents or whatever. We talked about that in an earlier tutorial for viewing on the web at that particular domain. And we're going to get into how that domain is run on the internet, like what makes up that domain, etc., etc. And as you can see here, the CPU usage, last login. This is an IP address, IPv4 IP address. Here we have processes that are running, snapshot of the number of processes being ran from an individual account. That's pretty important to look at because you don't want to have hundreds of processes running that you're not sure about why. And as it says, it'll cause this thing to freeze up and have problems running on your hard drive. Another good way to find out that you have some type of virus or something that's been uploaded to your site or even on your computer is finding out how many processes are running. So that's why this is an important factor when you're doing when you're doing your hosting. You want to keep a track of that, but they do that for you. That's what you're paying for too. They'll let you know if there's something wrong. CPU usage. This is telling you how much of the memory you're using. Down here, disk usage. Now, in another tutorial, which you can find on our website, we're talking about hosting. It's under other stuff, hosting sites. And you'll find information that talks about storage on your hard drive, okay? And that'll help. That tutorial will help you understand what your disk usage is, and also too your monthly transfer, which is about bandwidth. And that's very important to know. HostGator does allow you to have unlimited bandwidth, but like I said, go to the website and look up the tutorial on that. Email accounts. When we set up an email account for the domain, I'll show you about that, but you can keep track of all of that here. FTP accounts. FTP is File Transfer Protocol, and that's what enables you. It's a software that enables you to transfer to transfer data from your computer to the server. This is showing how many different accounts we have set up to transfer data from our computer to the server, which is called a remote server because it's not the one that we're working on. It's a remote one, a different one. The next one is SQL databases. This says we have 10 set up. I'm just going to trust them. This is nodes. We'll get into nodes. Basically, anytime a file is created, it creates a node. This down here is your account information. And very important that you take a look at this. This will tell you what package you're at currently with HostGator or whoever. And of course, based on that, you can go to the top, go back to the home page and find out whatever else you need to know about, like what package you can upgrade or downgrade to if you need to. Here is your unique IP address. Very important piece of information right there. Now, if I wanted to, let me show you this. When you put in a URL, okay, we got blog right here, right? So if I wanted to, I could just paste that URL in and watch where it takes me. Wait, hold on. 404, why is it taking me there? It should take me. Okay, I may not be paying for that. I don't wonder why it's like taking me, give me a 404. All right, now this IP address should take you to your web page. I got to figure out why that's not doing it there. I don't have time in this tutorial to go over that. The server name and the name servers. Now, when you registered your domain, you're going to need to pull these name servers. So, like, let's say you bought hosting through GoDaddy, or excuse me, you bought a website, a web domain through GoDaddy, which enables you to use a particular IP address in order for your website to be found. Now you need to allow them to say, okay, here's who he's hosting his website with. We just own the domain. So you can host in a different place than you bought your domain. These name savers are the information that you need to put in there at your domain where you purchased your domain so that your website can be viewed at this hosting spot, okay? I'll explain more of that. This is just an overview of the cPanel and where stuff is, how it works, etc. Here is your home directory. If you're setting up an FTP account so you can transfer data to your server, you need to know where the data is supposed to go. Just doing a / may not do it. For us, it's saying we need to go home, or excuse me, /home / bullseye. Now, that could be why it didn't take me where I need to go, but I don't have time to deal with that. Operating system. This is telling us that we have a Linux operating system, CENT, whatever CENT stands for. Okay, so we're using Linux. Now, there's two basic ones that you would be using for your hosting. You have Linux, and then you have Windows based. Windows, Microsoft. It's either Windows or Microsoft. I forget which one they go by. But Windows based and Linux based. Linux based is always open source. Windows is usually something you're gonna have to pay for. So because Windows wants everything paid for. That's basically why. Linux is open source. There's a lot of options for Linux. There's a lot of options for Microsoft, and there's a lot of benefits to using a Microsoft server as opposed to a Linux server, and vice versa. So it's a give and take between the two. I do prefer using the Linux server for my stuff. I don't use a lot of Microsoft with my projects, but that's one of the cool things about that. So instead of going all the way up to the top, we'll start right here. Here's your SEO and marketing tools. You can use this stuff. One-click sitemap will create a sitemap for your website. Your SEO tools, we'll talk about how to use these. Google website services, get in Google. I'm assuming this will take you to Google search engine. What is that? What is this? Go to my account. Oh, okay, I see. This, they're going to actually submit it for you. So that's cool. I didn't realize they did that. Let's move up here. More advanced stuff. This is advanced stuff. Typically, you're not going to have to worry about this advanced stuff. If you do, you can get help at the little question mark up here. Or live support. Their live support is off the chains. You can get all the information that you need. They really do go above and beyond at HostGator. And I'm not like just pumping them up. I've been around the block. I've tried at least 15 different hosting companies. And each time, even though HostGator might have pissed me off why I left, every single time I end up coming back here, and now it's just my home now. I live here. But anyway, next is security. All right, password protected directories. We'll go into that. IP deny manager. We'll get into that a little bit. Hot link protection, GNU. PG keys. This is all advanced stuff. I would push this as far to the bottom as you can because you probably won't need that stuff. The stuff you're mainly going to want to use is right here. Let me show you the ones you're going to use. Preferences. Over here, there's a getting started wizard, which can also help you if my tutorial sucked. Here's also some video tutorials that they offer. If I was you, I'd slide this stuff up to the top so you can see it. And what else? Update your contact info. Now, your contact info is okay. That's just what they use. We'll get that. We'll get into that when you buy. When I do the hosting portion. So we moved our preferences up, and it looks like they won't let me put the preferences above the other stuff. So that's pretty funny. I went and came back, and it's there. Now let's go back down. And databases. You're going to use this a lot. Unless you're just going to use strictly, if you're building your site from scratch, you'll probably use this databases a lot. I would move that to the top. Setting up an email account, we'll do that probably in the next tutorial, so I can show you the difference between an email account and how to set up forwarders, etc., etc. I'll probably do that in another tutorial in the next one. This is your file manager. Very important. This is where all the files to your website are. Like basically your root folder. And we'll get into what a root folder is when we do file management. But when you build a website, remember that you're actually uploading a folder full of files, much like this guy. Well, you can't see him. But much like this guy. Let me open up a tab and I'll show you what it looks like. You're going to upload something like this to your site. Now this is the practice one that we built. It's on the web page. You can grab this. But as you can see here, you're going to be uploading this. Now this is what's going to display, the index.html. That's the first page, but we'll get into that later. But remember that your file manager, this is where all the files are contained for that particular domain that you're looking at. And let's take a quick look at that. You click on that and you can go in. We'll just look at that, no problem. And just quick look at where everything is at. Now, when you come here, you see all of this stuff over here on the left. None of this stuff really means much to you. The one you're really interested in is right here where it says public_HTML. Now there's two folders. There's that one and then there's this www one. Some companies use this one. Some companies use the public_HTML. This is the one we use here. And here you see inside of this folder, public_HTML, you see all these other folders inside. And as you can see up here, see that little, that means home. Home is the root address for the actual where the pages are being hosted. And then you see here public_HTML /tutorials. That's telling me that that is where all the information contained for the blog are located, is in that tutorials folder. So let's find that folder by going through public_HTML and then where is it? Tutorials. See, they got to highlight it. And over here to the right, you'll see that it was already populated. I was just showing you that menu bar for sport. And you can see all the files that are associated, much like the one I showed you before, much like this one. You see all the files that are associated there, and then you can see it's the same deal here. So these are all the files associated with that tutorials. And of course inside of there, there's more files on top of files, and to get the content from those files, you just click on it and then it'll populate to the right. I just thought I'd show you that real quick in case you were stumped on that. Alright, so moving right along, I hope we're not going over on time. Here's also your FTP setups. They're right here in the files tab. Like I said, I will push this up to the top as far as you can get it. And let's move back down. So we did databases. The version that I have, they have the MySQL databases. We'll be going over that and how to use PHP admin, which is over here in databases. Here's your mail. Software and services. Now, when you're looking for a hosting company, one of the things you want to look for are freebies. Lots of freebies. And with HostGator, they give you, as you can see here, software and services. This is Ruby on Rails that works with the Ruby framework. It's like a Ruby framework, Ruby gems, which is code from Ruby. We have Perl modules over here. Pair is available to you. You can configure your php.ini file right there. Optimize your website. That's a cool one. You can go there. We'll do that later. BaseKit Site Builder. That's actually this guy over here. It's just a link here. The CGI Center 2. Let's go in there just to show you what that kind of stuff is. This is just a place where you can create some default stuff for your web page. So these are just some little scripts, CGI. They're already pre-installed, so they're ready for you to use. And you can use that stuff. We'll go over all of this. We really will. And let's see. Now these are the two big guys that I wanted to talk about. The quick install. Remember when we clicked, was it here, Trendy Site Builder? And it took us here to the quick install. This allows you to install custom scripts onto your web page. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a future tutorial. But over here you see all these options, and these are platforms pre-built already. Put together for you. You don't have to build your website from scratch, and I'm going to talk about that more and more as the weeks go by. You do not have to do it from scratch. In fact, if you're doing it from scratch and it's your first time out, and you're watching a tutorial like this, you don't even know how to manage your cPanel, you're gonna overwhelm yourself. Using a CMS or content management system like Drupal is a really good one. It's a little bit complex for a beginner. Joomla is really simple. LiveSite it's okay. It's alright. And but the main one that I focus on is WordPress. Now our blog was built in WordPress, but and I'm gonna go over WordPress in detail. So be ready for my WordPress series. It's gonna be hot. Let's see what else we got. We have forums. If you're not sure what a forum is versus a blog, we'll go over that stuff. And look at all this software. We got e-commerce software over here. So if you're trying to build an e-commerce site from scratch, I mean, you're just wasting your time. This stuff is free. It's there for you to use. Use it. This is quick install, which installs it right in that folder that we just looked at. Basically, you click here, it installs it in the folder, and there's a quick setup process with that. All right, we just click back on the browser. Let's go. Where is that? Where did I get that? Okay, and then you have Fantastico. Fantastico is the one that most servers you'll find they use Fantastico, and it's pretty much the same deal, same exact deal. Click here, do a little bit of setup over here. It's on your server. It's ready for you to use and configure. Last few things here. Domains, subdomains, add-on domains, park domains. All right, subdomains occur. All right, let's go to, I'm going to show you something. Here's the site that I'm working on for us to do tutorials through. And I'm building it one step at a time. I'm more concerned with getting the content out. But hold on, free web design, and then I have to go index.php to get to that. What the heck? Oh, that's test. My bad. My bad. Now, as you can see up here in the top, you see what they call a full URL. Now, in this URL, you see my root domain, which is right here, freewebdesigntutorials.info, and then we're headed to a folder. In that folder, which is basically, I'm sorry, this is no folder. This is the root page. So in the root, we have index.php, and this is telling the user agent here that we're looking for something on the World Wide Web. Before this is the protocol, which is HTTP, which is the protocol that transfers data from a server to the internet, from computer to computer, makes it available. Now, if we click on that directly, you'll see a different website will pop up. This is the one I'm working on for us. Don't judge me. I'm still working on it. In fact, I'm barely working on it. I just scrapped this because it was taking me too long to work on some of the back end stuff. But as you can see, up here is a full URL. Okay, www. Now we're gonna go to our site, which is, you see, I can just take that off. Bam. And you see that www change? It's now blog. See how I said that? blog.freewebdesigntutorials.info. That's a different address. That blog portion is saying that this is a different individual site. This is the blog. This says blog. It's not freewebdesigntutorials.info. Freewebdesigntutorials.info was the site we just looked at. Now we're in what they call a subdomain of FreeWeb, which is blog. Okay? That's what this is. So when you initially get your website, you're going to need to add it on to this domain for management. Add-on is different than park. When you park a domain, then basically you're just putting it here and you're not going to be using that domain. Maybe you'll use it to forward, like I'll show you real quick. Like you're going to just create a parked domain. So you bought a domain and you're like, yeah, I really like this domain. But like, for instance, let's say GoDaddy got you and you bought like 10 different domains. For the same one. So you bought apex7web.com, .info, .net, .blah, .who, .what, right? So you bought all those freaking domains. Well, they're not all going to be different sites. So what you would do is you would park those domains on your server, and then you would just use this software to redirect them to the one that you want to keep, which would be like Apex, like you can see here. Apex7.com actually redirects to apex7.net, and you can manage all of that. So we'll go over that in a future tutorial as well. But all of that is under the domains section of your site. I would pull that up to the top as well, closer to the top as well. You might use that a lot. I'll put that up too. And let me make sure I've gone over everything before I say goodbye and log off after my very long-winded explanation. The logs. Okay, now we didn't go over the logs. I want to go over that. Your logs is where you get all that analytical data. Now we clicked over here and we got some of it, but your logs contains all that extra stuff. These are all different programs for looking into your analytics on your site, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how to read that stuff, because it can look like gibberish, but it ain't gibberish. Let's see, is there anything else that we need to go over? Oh yeah, HostGator's links, billing system. If you have to pay your bill and you do not know where to go to pay your bill, you can click here. The billing system is separate from the cPanel. So you're not going to find anywhere on the cPanel to pay your bill except for this link. So you can go there to pay your bill. This is domain management. This is where you go to manage your domain, obviously. This is really about purchasing and adding, like paying for new domains, not old ones. Account add-ons. Not sure where that goes. Never really used it, but it's there. The support portal. This will take you here, which is where you have all these wonderful tutorials on cPanel and Plesk. Those are two really good ones. And look, Site Builder, all this stuff is here. WordPress. Let's see what they have on WordPress. Look at that. They only got up to 2.7. WordPress is already up to 3.4. What is it? 3.4.2 or something? Something like, yeah, 3.4.2. So it's a little bit outdated, but it's there for you to use. And as I said, right next to that, live chat support. So you can always find somebody to chat with about your problems. You can always hit me up in the inbox as well. I do my best to answer all of your questions. Here we also have website templates, which I didn't mention. They have a lot of templates that you can just download all of this junk for your own personal use. How hot is that? So like if you have a company and you're like, hey, I want a website that looks nice and I don't want to listen to this guy talk for freaking 2 hours to learn how to do that. So you can just download it. See that? You click download, and then there's two versions, the Flash and the non-Flash version of it. You'll want to work with the non-Flash, and I'll even show you how to edit one of these templates because I'm that nice of a guy. All of that's going to be on the blog. Do not forget to subscribe so that you can let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. Yeah, some nice stuff. I could have used one of these to build my site. Why? Because I paid for it. And if you're paying for that stuff through your hosting, use it. Don't go out before you go out and spend $500, $600, $1,000. Some people are paying $5,000 to $10,000 for your site. Spend a little bit of time. If you're a business owner, learn a little bit about this stuff, and I guarantee you I can walk you through these steps. And there's plenty of open source help for you to build your website and get stuff done. All right. Thanks for viewing. This once again was an overview of the cPanel, what it is, how it works, where some of the links are in HostGator. As I said, you can click on that little question mark, help. And if you're having trouble, HostGator will be right there by your side. These here are all external things. Actually, you can get accept credit cards and stuff like that today. You really could technically do that if you needed to accept credit cards. I'll be doing a tutorial on PayPal, which is I like PayPal. Some people don't. I do. What is this? Protect your website from hackers. Yeah, so you can pay to have your site basically locked down, and they'll go through and do periodic safety checks and on your site. This is other outside templates. Now this one, these are all offers that you have to pay for. But some of them are worth it. You can buy another template. You don't have to use the ones that are here. You could buy a template from these guys, and they have some really, really nice templates. And I think you can pay like a flat fee and use all of their templates and CSS templates. I'm going to show you all of this stuff. I'm such a nice guy. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for viewing, and the next tutorial, I hope I'll try and break the tutorials up so they're not this long anymore, because it takes me way too long to upload them. Thanks for viewing. Have a great day.